Let's reduce to its lowest term, this fraction here, 9x squared minus y squared plus 2y minus 1 over 4yz squared minus 4z squared minus 12xz squared. Now, to do that, we need to factor both the numerator and the denominator. So let's start with the numerator. So I'll write here 9x squared. Now, I'm going to group the last three terms here. So I'll write here minus. Now, we're going to factor out the minus 1 here. So I'll copy y squared. So that y squared times minus 1 is minus y squared. That's plus. So we need to change the sign. That becomes minus 2y. So minus 2y times minus 1 is plus 2y. That's a minus there. So change the sign. That becomes plus 1. So plus 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Now how about this? We have here 4c squared. 4c squared and 12z squared. They are factorable by 4z squared. So I'll write here the greatest common factor, 4c squared. So 4yz squared divided by 4z squared is equal to y. So y times 4z squared is 4yz squared. Minus 4z squared divided by 4z squared is minus 1. So minus 1 times 4z squared is minus 4z squared. Minus 12xc squared divided by 4z squared is equal to minus 3x. So minus 3x times 4z squared is equal to minus 12xc squared, right there. Now, let's isolate this quadratic trinomial here. So that's y squared minus 2y plus 1. Now, this quadratic trinomial here is actually a perfect square trinomial. So let's factor that. Square root of y squared is y. So I'll write here y and a y here. Square root of 1 is 1. So I'll write here 1 and a 1. The sign of the middle term is minus. So I'll write here minus and a minus. So let's check this. Y times y is y squared. Y times minus 1 is minus y. Minus 1 times y is minus y. So minus y is minus 2y. So it satisfies the middle term. Minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. So we're good with this. So this is now a product of two identical binomials. So we could rewrite this as y minus 1 quantity squared. Now let's consider the whole numerator here. So that's 9x squared minus this quadratic trinomial is equal to this. So minus y minus 1 quantity squared. Now 9x squared is a perfect square. So if we get the square root of that, that's 3x. Then we'll raise it to the second power. So 3x raised to the second power is 9x squared minus quantity y minus 1 raised to the second power. Now, if I denote 3x as a and y minus 1 as b, we now have here a squared minus b squared. So that is the difference in the squares of two numbers. Now, if you will recall, a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So this is the general formula. Now we're going to substitute the values of a, that's 3x, and b equals y minus 1. So we'll substitute this formula. So that's a plus b, this one, 3x plus y minus 1 times a minus b, that's 3x minus y minus 1. This becomes now 3x plus y minus 1 times 3x. Take this out of the parentheses. So that's minus y, then minus 1 preceded by a minus sign that becomes plus 1. So these are the factors of the numerator. Now let's copy that. Three x plus y minus 1 times 3x minus y plus 1 over 4c squared times y minus 1 minus 3x. Now, take a look at this. We have here 3x, and this one is minus 3x. This is minus y, and this is positive y. That's plus 1, and this is minus 1. Now, if we multiply this trinomial here by minus 1, the result would be exactly just like this. So let's multiply the denominator by minus 1. Now, to compensate for that, we also need to multiply the numerator by minus 1. So minus 1 over minus 1 is 1. So it will not affect the value of the original fraction. Now, the minus 1 in the numerator, we could simply write it before the fraction. There. So this will now become the sign of the new fraction. So I'll copy 3x plus y minus 1 times 3x minus y plus 1 over, that's 4c squared, times, so minus 1 times minus 3x is positive 3x, or simply 3x. Minus 1 times y is minus y. Minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. There. So 3x minus y plus 1 over 3x minus y plus 1, we can simply cancel that out. So what is left is this. That's minus 3x plus y minus 1 over 4c squared. And that's the answer.